Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Hello, and welcome everybody to another episode of the Full Send Half Mast podcast. Tonight, oh boy, do we got a lot to talk about. We got a bunch of news we want to talk about with you guys, as well as all of the NASCAR Truck Xfinity Cup Series races at Homestead, Miami this weekend. Wow, what an interesting weekend we had there. Lots of talking points, as well as the Formula One Mexican Grand Prix. What an absolute banger of a race that was. Enjoyed that thoroughly. We'll go over the point standings heading into Martinsville this weekend. Who's going to make the championship four in all these series? Got a couple locks in the Xfinity as well as well as our infamous Bonehead and Driver of the Week segments. And then we will preview this weekend's races, which is like a ton of awesome races. I believe we're going to see as well with the Trucks Xfinity Cup at Martinsville. Lock in those championship four picks, as well as F1 at Brazil for the Grand Prix and Sprint weekend, as well as the finale for the World Endurance Championships 2024 campaign at Bahrain for the 8-hour race. It's going to be super awesome as well this weekend. And then we'll also round it off with our NASCAR and F1 fantasy lineups heading into Brazil. But first off, Tom is with me here tonight. Tom, how's it going, man?
Oh, I am great. I am so excited to talk about that F1 race. And I guess whatever racing went on other than that. But you know what? It was a great weekend of racing, and we saw a lot of moments. Hung money once again. And yeah, I'm ready to get into it.
Alrighty. Sounds good. All right, first off, Brett Holmes Racing shutting down. Truck Series team been around for a few years here. They're being shut down. Another sad day in motorsports. Whenever you see a team shut down or disband or go away, it's always sad. I hate to see it.
Well, when NASCAR sucks the money out of their own sport, what do you expect to happen? It's a dictatorship. Rip.
There is at least a little bit of a shining light though, as we got Hettinger Racing. This weekend going to be running the number 4 truck with Brett Moffitt behind the wheel. So he's going to be running the last 2 races of the season, and then we don't know about
Yes.
2025 yet, but awesome. We get Brett Moffitt back, a new team to replace another team. Sad to see one shut down, but we at least get a little bit of shining light with a new team. I'm excited to see what Brett Moffitt can do behind the wheel of that truck, man. I mean, we've been high on Brett Moffitt for years, and I believe that this is a big time move. If you're going to have a startup team, no better driver to bring in than a Brett Moffitt. This guy will get more out of. He's like a Ross Chastain-esque driver. He'll get more out of any equipment you put him in. I'm excited to see what he can do behind the wheel of that machine.
Same.
Alrighty. Also, we know about the superstar jumping into NXT next year with old Miss Haley Deegan, but we had a test this weekend with Sophia Florsch for HMD. Same team Haley Deegan's gonna be driving for in NXT. Just a test, but what are your expectations or hopes, or do you think this develops into something maybe full time next year?
I hope. This is big for IndyCar. And I mean, quite frankly, with the star-studded lineup that they have, I think her and Chadwick will put on a hell of a show in Indy NXT, and I think that it's going to be extremely exciting. I just hope that you know, whether HMD's vision for this is next year or the year after, maybe to replace Chadwick or to race alongside Chadwick. I don't know. I just hope that they actually do jump on this opportunity, because I honestly believe we could. I mean, I really think that we could be in the era of the golden era for Indy NXT.
I know, I'm excited. Like we said, we had like a lot of turnover the last few years from Indian NXT, and now this year it's going to be like, who's going to be the one to step up to the top of that? Is it going to be KO Collette? Are we going to see Reese Gould? He's been around for a while. Can he maybe take that step forward? Maybe the Louis Foster route, where he's kind of a sleeper for 2 years and then steps up on the top step. Chadwick, like you mentioned, being the top, probably one of your championship favorites going into next year. We got Miles Rowe, another awesome rookie. De Alba was showing some speed there at the end of the year. Like, who's gonna be, and then James Rowe as well. Like, who's gonna be the one to kind of take that role in Indy NXT? It'll be exciting to see if we get someone who has a lot of F4 experience. with Sophia Flores. I think that would be a great fit for her to jump into an NEXT car. I think she's got way more experience than another driver that's stepping into similar equipment or potentially stepping into similar equipment. So it'd be interesting to see what she could do. I'm excited for Indy NXT next year. That's all I'm gonna say, Tom. I like the last couple of years, Indy NXT. Most people have not been tuned in or watching that stuff, but that racing is mint, and it's so much fun to get up early in the morning after the F1 race. Usually the Indy NXT race is on. You watch that, then watch IndyCar, then watch. I mean, it's always fun to have a Saturday or a Sunday morning like that. So I'm excited to see what Indy NXT has to deliver next year, and hopefully Sophia Flores is behind the wheel of one of those race cars. Also, speaking about Indy NXT, your champion from last year, Louis Foster, seat fit for RL. Oh man, would you just love to see it, dude? Would you
Yes,
just love to see it?
freaking love it. Yes, absolutely. Now, I mean, obviously, I think he's gonna replace Pietro, Rasmussen. Sorry.
Rasmussen, yeah.
Now we just need to get Abel to replace the Pietro guy, the pizza man, and then we need the next NXT champion to replace Ray Hall. So, and then you'd have a pretty good lineup.
I mean, they need a star. I mean, well, like they've got Vips. I believe Vips is gonna find his way into a ride somehow next year. Probably replace Pietro.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Ray Hall really needed to pick up Rossi. Is who they really needed.
Yeah, they needed Rossi and Foster. That would have been perfect to put us alongside Rahal. Because then when Rahal steps up, then you have the veteran experience with Rossi, and then you can bring in an Abel, or you can even bring in a Yuri Vips as well. I mean, they need to have future and
maybe the
stability.
Well, maybe the FBI prevented that. I don't know.
Yeah, the FBI. Man, we haven't heard anything about that in a while, man. That's been hush hush for a minute here, so we'll have to
it has been
see what happens there. But I'm excited. If Louis Foster moves in, he's gonna be my favorite rookie to pull for next year for sure. I would love to see how good he can do next year in IndyCar. I think Tom mentioned it, or you've said it so many times. That Detroit qualifying round that he did last year was super impressive, and I think that was the turning point in his career, because I mean before that, I mean, Louis Foster was absolutely pedestrian in the NXT until that race, and then he just showed up, and then after that, he became like the top guy in the NXT after that. So I'm excited to see what he could do when he moves into IndyCar. It's gonna be a different world, but it's gonna be interesting. Yeah. Also, one more thing before I get into the tragic news that we're gonna talk about here in a second. Let's talk about Allgaier's contract extension. 2026. I think it's a good move. I mean, what else are you gonna do? I mean, he's a lifer. Is he going to win a championship? No, but
probably not.
But I mean, he's going to go and win you 10 stages and choke away 8 races a year, like he's done. I mean, I don't know. Like Tom said, Denny Hamlin Jr. Man, what are you going to do? He's going to stay. He's going to be there until he's 50 and still not win a championship, just like Hamlin is. So, interesting stuff. Alrighty, sad news. Irwindale Speedway shutting down at the end of 2024. How many times have I heard this rumor over the last 10 years, man? It's like every year they're talking about shutting this place down. Looks like it could be official, though, this year. Could be the last year at Irwindale Speedway. Unfortunate. One of the most premier short tracks in America, and I think it doesn't get as much love and respect because it's on the West Coast. I think that's really all it is. I think it's more prestigious than a Bowman Gray. It's more prestigious than let's see, what else on the East Coast that we could put it to. I mean, Langley's pretty historic.
Hickory.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's right up there. It's one of the most iconic short tracks in all of North America. I mean, and what we'll talk about with the next news too is that ARCA series may be running an exhibition non-points race at Irwindale Speedway on December 31st, on New Year's Eve. That's freaking awesome. What it reminds me of is I remember when I was a kid. This is how I first learned about Joey Logano when he was like 16, 15 years old, something like that. I would watch during the wintertime, they'd have the Winter Classic or the All-Star Challenge at Irwindale Speedway, and it would always be on Speed TV. And it was like 40 of the best super late model drivers in the entire country would show up to Irwindale Speedway and run like a 250 lap exhibition race for like a big chunk of money. And I remember Joey Logano being like 15 years old, had never heard of this guy in my life. This was well before he ever got into the Cup Series or anything like that. He showed up and absolutely put a spank on him, I believe, like 2 years in a row. And he was like 15 or 16, 17, something like that. 2 years in a row, just spanked the entire field of some of the best freaking super late model drivers. And then when he got to the Cup Series, it wasn't a shock that he was like gonna be this next great talent because I'd seen him in that winter shootout at Irwin. That's what it reminds me of with this ARCA race. I think it's freaking awesome, man. It's kind of a throwback deal. I know a lot of people probably don't know that because they're not West Coast people, and that was kind of a West Coast thing. So that was a pretty big thing when I was a kid. So I'm excited that they're kind of bringing something like that back. Hopefully we get some heavy hitters and some big names to show up to run in that race.
Yeah, for sure. Too bad. Too bad it's in California.
Yeah.
It's a big RIP.
That's a fact. RIP. And I mean, how many tracks is California going to lose, man? They just can't. They can't keep a track.
Dude,
I mean,
they're gonna lose all of them.
Yeah, they got.
They're dealing with
Stockton and
lawsuits
Madera,
of noise lawsuits. They're dealing with property taxes going up. I mean, they've got all these regulations now. I mean, what else do you expect? I mean, I don't blame them. It's not. It's just not a viable business culture there. You just can't survive. And in the words of Donald Trump, Gavin Newsom just can't seem to hold down any businesses there. It's just bad.
Yeah, it's tragic. I mean, we still got Stockton 99. We'll see how long that can hold on. Madera, lots of dirt tracks, obviously. Then I mean, there's even been rumors for years about Laguna Seca too, with the noise complaints with people moving in there and not liking it.
And Sonoma.
Yeah, and Sonoma too. I mean, this is
we used to race there, and there'd be protesters outside. And it's same with Portland. I know it's a different state, but same mindset and culture of people. But I had a very nice conversation with somebody who could talk with the spiritual realm, and I learned a lot that day.
I learned maybe what I didn't want to know.
Well, I learned that she was just
bonkers.
Yeah, that lady was crazy.
Knucking
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's better than what I was gonna say.
Alrighty. Well, that's all the news I had. Is there any other news, or we just want to jump right into the race?
Jump right into it, baby. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So Saturday, the Truck Series race, the Baptist Hill 200 at Homestead. My pick, Corey Heim, was on pole. He dominated the first half of this race. Stage 1, most of stage 2. It wasn't until the end of stage 2 that Enfinger took the lead and ended up winning stage 2. And then from there, it was basically Enfinger's race. The one thing I do want to talk about in this race, though, is this absolutely pathetic move here by Connor Jones on Matt Mills. Racing for an irrelevant position on track. Nothing really they're racing for. And loses his head, runs into the back of Matt Mills, his truck catches fire, ends up going hospitalized with burn injuries. I believe he got released maybe the other day or yesterday, maybe. So hopefully he's doing okay. That's just too tough that he had to have those burn injuries. But I mean, I feel like the lack of respect here. And this is and the reason I'm bagging mostly on Connor Jones here is because we've seen this before. Remember, the first race I ever saw this guy run was last year in the ARCA race at Phoenix. And I watched him dump William Swalich late in that race and took William Swalich out of a chance to win it. And had no remorse about that either. And then he goes and does something like this. I mean, what are your thoughts on this? I think this is absolutely not even a boneheaded move. And it's going to be nominated. But I think this is just the lack of respect and driver talent and awareness here.
I mean, what we witnessed on Saturday was just a full-scale childish tantrum meltdown. Now, look, I'm all for drivers having at it, right? Let them wreck each other on track. Let them do this. Let them do that. But the whole context of the thing, it just seemed like he got, a time. I don't know I didn't see what happened before that. What made him so angry? And if I did, I don't remember. But it kind of just seemed like maybe, Matt Mills bumped him in the corner and got around him like a classic bump and run or something. And he just had a full-on meltdown. It was like, actually, you know what? It reminds me of Kyle Busch, Ron Hornaday, Texas. What was it, 2011?
Yes. Yeah.
That's exactly what it reminds me of.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uncalled for.
And
Absolutely
you know what? the same penalty should apply. If
Oh, I
NASCAR is
agree.
going to be consistent in what they're doing, it needs to apply.
Yeah, they parked Bubba Wallace for a race. They parked Elliott for a race. I think
That's
you
right.
parked
Yep.
Connor Jones for a race. I mean, make him sit out. He shouldn't be racing this weekend at Martinsville. He's on the entry list. He shouldn't be racing. He should be sat out for a week. You've got because I think the reason why that penalty is so effective is because it puts the drivers accountable. Because not only are you going to get sat out a week, you're costing your team the laps that you would have racing on track. You're costing yourself experience. And then you're costing your sponsors who are investing this money into your team to see you have to sit out a week because of something that you did stupid on the track. Maybe it's an awakening where, oh man, I could lose my sponsors. Oh, I could lose my ride. Oh, I could lose all these points for the championship. Oh, there's got to be. That's why that penalty is good, because it's a consequence that can affect so many other things. Makes you not do things like that because you're representing so many people on a national scale. That's why I think that penalty is being instituted here. Absolutely terrible move.
He got a 2-lap penalty in race for
not enough,
right? Right? That's what he did get?
Yes.
I mean, he didn't get anything else?
No, that was just...
Okay, you cannot convince me that NASCAR cares about safety. You just can't. Yeah. You can't convince me.
Yeah, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, so that was the major incident in this race I want to talk about. But Enfinger, late in the race on a different strategy, charging through the field, gets the lead, and man, does he look championship prime, dude. I mean,
yes,
he started the playoffs so slow. He didn't turn up in the regular season until the very end. It wasn't until the last 3 or 4 races. He barely skirts into the playoffs. Gets into the playoffs. He's running terrible. He's basically in a must-win at Dega. Wins that, and then goes back-to-back at Homestead. I mean, this man is championship prime, dude. Like, this is beautiful.
Get you some, baby. Get you some. Hell yeah. I told you. It didn't matter if it was a new team or not. Enfinger's making it. You watch.
Oh, man. I was like thinking about halfway through the year, I'm like, man, I don't know about Enfinger. But then towards the end of the season, when I saw him turning up before the playoffs, I'm like, I was with you, dude. I was like, he's making. I think we talked about it like
baby.
8
I was
weeks ago
faithful.
or something. Yeah.
I was faithful. I knew it.
Oh man. Yeah, we talked about it 8 weeks ago, dude. Like we said, who was gonna make the championship 4 in the trucks, and like we both said, Heim, Eckes were locks, and then we're like Enfinger, Majeski, probably your next 2. Well, those are the 4 in right now. I mean, yep. I think that's your. Those have been your best 4 most consistent drivers all season long. I think those are the most 4 deserving. We'll see. Obviously, I've got the points pulled up here. We can look at the points real quick. We got Enfinger plus 40. Well, it doesn't matter. He's locked in anyway. Heim plus 49. So unless he has a colossal failure, I think that's a lock. Eckes plus 38. I still think that's a lock. There's no way he's going to fall off a cliff. I think the other one is Majeski at plus 22. With you got Taylor Gray, Rajah Caruth back there, 24, 22 back. Sanchez and Anchor both have to win, being 40 plus back. I think our championship 4 set. I think even before this Martinsville race, and we'll talk about it when we get to the preview for Martinsville, but I like where Majeski's at with 22 up. I still think that's plenty fun. So yeah. I think we did it. Somehow we got here, Tom. We predicted it and we got here. Somehow, some way. I think I'm not gonna jinx it because watch Sanchez will win this week and knock one of them out, but I think we're pretty safe here. I would say on this championship 4 pick.
I would too.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the truck race. What an interesting race that we saw. The little bit of controversy, but the drive by Enfinger, not having the truck at the beginning of the race, having the truck at the end of the race, and then absolutely putting the show on at the end, driving away with that victory was super impressive and fun to watch. I did not see that coming, Tom. You picked it. You picked it last week. I picked Heim. That looked good for me there for about a stage and a half, and kind of fell apart there. So, kudos to you for that pick on the race win.
Yes, brother.
And then after that race on Saturday, we also had the Xfinity Series Credit 1 NASCAR Amex Credit Card 300. Oh, man. Chandler Smith qualifies on pole. But early in the race, the one who we did not expect, I don't think either of us had this on our lottery or bingo card or making this championship 4. Let's talk about Austin Hill and how impressive he was on the bottom of the racetrack and how he was able to basically sweep the stages and dominate. I mean, it was insane how fast that car was. I mean, what did RCR find? Did they go buy some more stuff from Gibbs, and like what did they do?
I don't know. Who knows? It's probably one of Hill's temper tantrums that leaked on over to Joe Gibbs to get parts.
It's crazy. I did not see that coming. That came so far out of left field with Austin Hill in this race that it completely shocked me. Completely shocked me. I did not see him having the pace. I mean, Custer was faster in this race. Allgaier had his moment. Chandler Smith obviously was pretty fast in this race. But nobody had anything for Austin Hill. I mean, it was a dominant performance. Swept the stages, won the race, locks himself into the championship four. I thought it was a good race. I enjoyed it. There was so many comers and goers, the different strategies. I mean, Almirola was up there battling at one point. It just seemed like the Gibbs cars were fast, but they weren't fast enough. It was weird. I've not seen Gibbs look that not slow. What's a good word for it? I guess
lackluster.
Yeah, lackluster. There you go. That's perfect. They just weren't the best team. I mean, Hill was just dominant, and then even Custer at moments was dominant. I mean, I didn't see that coming at all. I would have expected after qualifying. I thought that Gibbs was probably going to finish 1 through 3 here with Chandler winning the race. That was kind of what I was thinking going into it. And Austin Hill, I mean, on the bottom of the racetrack with out of nowhere. I mean, we didn't expect him to make it to the championship four, let alone win a race at Homestead of all places. That was right? The most shocker of it all. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess we could take a look at the points here going into Martinsville, as we have Allmendinger and Hill both locked in. And as it regards to the cut line, Allgaier's 35 up, Custer's 28 up, and then Chandler is back at 28 back, Jesse Love 35, and then Sammy Smith, Sam Mayer, I believe, are both in must wins. Oh, are you feeling safe if you're Custer and Allgaier at that point gap?
No.
I mean, obviously a new winner can happen, but
no, nobody's safe except for the winners.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I mean, anybody can win now, dude. If Allmendinger and Austin Hill are going to win the first 2 races of the round, when we thought it was going to be Allgaier, Custer, and Chandler were going to be locks, and now it looks like, well, legitimately only 2 of the 3 can make it. Maybe only one of them makes it. You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that happened. I still think. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Custer's going to make it regardless. I think Custer's just that good this year. I think he's going to pass Allgaier in points, but then Allgaier is going to be hanging on by a win whether Chandler wins. Could Chandler point himself in? I think he can at 28 back. But do we see like a Sam Mayer win this race, you know? Or Jesse Love, do they end up getting some of those Joe Gibbs racing parts put on that 2 machine this weekend and they go win it, you know? I mean, this is an interesting spot here. This Xfinity race this weekend's going to be an absolute freaking thriller, dude. I mean, this could be an all-time classic.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it is going to be an all-time classic. There's just, I don't know. Nobody's safe except for the winners. Nobody is safe.
Well, and the Xfinity cars at Martinsville is like mint. Like, that's some of the best racing you can get. I mean, it's going to be a freaking barn burner, man. It's going to be crazy. Yeah. I don't think we're going to know who's going to be in the final 2 spots until literally the checker flag is waved. I think it's going to be that crazy. I mean, we could see some theatrics like we saw last year with Creed and Hill. I mean, we could see that between teammates here too. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. This race is probably, if I was to guess, this is going to be the best race of the weekend, minus maybe the Bahrain World Endurance Championship race, in my opinion. This race is going to be must-watch TV. If you don't have CW tuned in on Saturday afternoon, I mean, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. This is going to be a thriller. But we'll talk about it more here later. I just wanted to touch on the Xfinity race. Is there anything else you wanted? Did I miss anything with the Xfinity race? I don't really know. I guess we could talk about the William Sawalich and Ryan Truex issue, where Sawalich lost a little bit of talent there and got into Truex. That was pretty unfortunate. But what are you going to do?
Rip.
Rip. Alrighty. Let's talk about the F1 race, the Mexican Grand Prix Sunday. Wow.
What a freaking banger, man. F1's back, baby. It is back. What a freaking season we've had so far, baby. I'm telling you. I specifically had the intent to watch the F1 race over the NASCAR race.
Me too.
did not freaking disappoint. I don't even look. We'll talk about the NASCAR race, but the F1 race was better. It was. That race was just freaking mint.
It was awesome.
From the beginning.
It
was a great freaking race.
Yeah,
especially the can't go Lando part.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Oh man. So yeah, it's Carlos Sainz qualifies on pole, but he does not get the start that he wanted. Have a little bit of his "Let's go Lando, can't go Lando" moment there. Verstappen ends up getting to the lead early. But let's talk about that turn 1, lap 1 crash that caused a safety car between Tsunoda and Albon. Who do you put blame on here? I've watched it back and I chalk it up to a racing incident. I don't know who you could blame in this situation.
Look, it's turn 1, lap 1, especially at a track like Mexico, where it's just a 90 degree turn right, where you have the longest straightaway on any of the F1 circuits. I mean, I'm surprised it was only 2 cars.
Yeah, me too.
To be honest.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. You know, so, if you actually go into, I'm pretty sure it's our community chat, there's a really cool picture of the photographer sitting right there taking a picture of Tsunoda's car as it like shaves his face as it goes right by him. But that man was not missing out. You know what I mean? He was like, I'm getting this shot. I don't care if it's life or death. This is going to be amazing. And he I'll tell you what, he got a hell of a shot. That was pretty cool.
That was a badass photo.
I appreciate his dedication for sure.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was unfortunate, man. I was really looking forward to see what Tsunoda could do here at this Grand Prix, especially because I knew this is okay. So for context, why I wanted him to be so good in this race is because this was Sergio Perez's home race, and I knew that he was going to be a clown, which we're going to talk about. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about it. But I was like, man, this is going to be the opportunity for Tsunoda to really put his stamp on that Sergio Perez little spout. But it wasn't him. Oh, it wasn't him that we had to worry about. It was another man driving a buy one, get one free car. And we'll talk about that too. Yeah, so unfortunately that caution caused Tsunoda and Albon to be out of the race, which was unfortunate. We also saw Alonso retire for the race early as well, having some issues. Or was it brake issues? I can't exactly remember. I think it was brake issues.
I don't remember them even ever coming out to say what was wrong.
Yeah, I don't remember him either.
To be honest with you.
I could have sworn maybe I heard him say something about brakes, but I could be wrong on that. I've slept a couple days since then. But yeah, so he's out. And then also, early in this race, we have that battle between Verstappen and Lando. Kind of like reminiscent of last week. Verstappen absolutely taking a dump truck of a Red Bull now and absolutely putting the fight to can't go Lando. And Lando could not get by him. And then he finally gets to the outside and him and Verstappen go wide off the track. They give Verstappen, what, a 10-second penalty for that? I mean, unbelievable. This allowed Leclerc to go by, too, so we had a 1-2 Ferrari.
It was 20 overall.
Yeah, because he got the 10-second for the Lando incident, then he got another 10-second for track limits as well. So. Verstappen, man, what the hell, dude? I mean, I love it. He's digging. He's trying to keep that car up at the front of the field, trying to win this world championship. But damn, dude, 20 seconds, that's harsh.
He doesn't have that British passport, so it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. So yeah, Lando did eventually get by him, but when that whole shuffle happened, that allowed Leclerc to go to P2. So we had a 1-2 Ferrari. Verstappen did have to serve that 20-second penalty, which at pit stop took forever, dude. Like,
yeah, dude.
That was painful to watch, dude. I was just sitting there like, oh my God, is this ever going to end? And he still raced himself back up to, what, P6 by the end of the race? So he still had a good result. I mean, he still rebounded off that, so that was good. Next, let's talk about Checo. It's Checo time out in the Mexican Grand Prix. Dear Lord, him and Lawson, dude. What does he have something against the RB get one free cars, man? What the hell? What, I mean, he runs into him. They end up making contact.
Brother, he's garbage. He's
Perez
garbage.
is trash, man. Like,
He is garbage. It's time to move on, my brother. Look, even Brad Pitt won a Mexican Grand Prix before he did.
facts.
I'm just saying. It's time to move on, my friend.
Oh man,
Time to move
Perez is
on,
terrible.
my amigo.
Mi amigo. I mean, that was just. I mean, like we said last week with him and Sonoda, desperation. He's just driving with pure desperation. It's not even off of driver talent or ability anymore. He's driving off of desperation, and he doesn't have it. Just doesn't have it.
By the way, what did I watch with that battle with him and Lawson? What was that? Was
couldn't even
like
put it
my
into words.
eyes. Like I felt like I was getting like stage 4 cancer just watching it. Like there was nothing of substance there except for Lawson passing Perez on the front straightaway and giving him the finger.
Oh, that was beautiful. That put the cherry, and then no, that was like the frosting. The cherry on top was when Lawson and Calapinto, which we'll talk about Calapinto in a minute. I got to give him a lot of love here. But him and Calapinto made a little bit of contact, kind of one of those switcheroos, so the S's made a little bit of contact, took the front wing off of Lawson's car. Unfortunate for Lawson, because he had a really good race going too. Had to come down to pit. But then Sergio, I guess, was watching it on the Jumbotron. He was like, yeah, guess what he deserves, or something to that effect, dude. And his team's like, well, maybe you can watch the highlights after the race. And he's like, no, I just watched him now. What a clown, dude. What a clown, bro. I can't with this guy anymore.
You know what, Jay? I'm to the point where it's like, you know who the real clowns are in this whole situation?
Christian Horner.
It's Christian Horner and Helmut Marko.
Yeah.
Every damn week they go to a race weekend with Sergio Perez in the car, the more they make their organization look like a clown show.
Oh, it's terrible, man. It's terrible.
So bad.
The disparity. I mean, he's getting outran by RB, Cash App, buy one, get one free Visa, V-Carb, Toro Rosso, AlphaTauri team. I mean, that's embarrassing, man. And this, like,
Andy's getting the finger by him.
He's getting passed, getting the finger, running into him. Like, what the hell is going on here? I mean, that, like you said, that battle between him and Lawson was hard to watch, dude. So hard to watch. Like, it was so cringe, just like the Sonoda one last weekend, dude. What is happening? I don't even know what's going to happen this week. I think it's going to be hilarious when both of them qualify better than him and he never even has to race against him because he's so far behind. Oh, man. It's so bad. He's so bad. Is there, what else am I missing? Oh, yeah, Colapinto. That's what I wanted to jump to. Holy cow, man. Colapinto is the man, dude.
He's the real deal.
I think we talked about it a few weeks ago when he announced that he was going to be in the seat. I skeptical as hell. I think you were too, Tom. We were pretty skeptical.
I was.
He was the most below average. No, not even mid. He was below average F2 driver. Below average at best. And I was like, well, what the hell what are we doing? I mean, I understand he's a paid driver, but like for like in the last 5 races of the year, can't you just eat it a little bit and go find like your next big thing? I think they found it, dude. I think they found it. I mean, if Colapinto is not driving, I know he's not going to be with Williams. He's probably going to be the reserve driver because they're bringing signs in. But if he doesn't find a ride, man, that's a disgrace. What another amazing freaking drive by Colapinto this week. I know he made the contact with Lawson. I don't put blame on him or Lawson in that situation. I think that was a racing deal with 2 young drivers with similar equipment. Making a move in a really narrow part of the track. I don't put any blame on either of those drivers. I don't think either of those drivers should hang their heads about that. I think they both did fantastic this weekend, but especially Colapinto. I am freaking the pace that he had. He didn't pit forever, and that car was still fast. Mm-hmm. He had the fastest lap at one point. I mean, this guy can drive, dude. I am sold on Colapinto. I mean, to go from a below average F2 driver getting ran circles around on a weekly basis to moving up to F1 in a not so good vehicle and absolutely he scored more points in like 3 races than freaking Sargent in 2 years.
Yeah.
He's outscoring his teammate Albon on or outplacing him on every race.
And Albon is choking every race. He's being outqualified and outpaced by Colapinto every race weekend. That should tell you something right there.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, I if I was Red Bull right now, I'd be looking at Colapinto to replace Tsunoda next year. When it moves Tsunoda up to the main team and bring Colapinto in next to Lawson.
Well,
I think that would be
rumors.
perfect.
There's rumors that Christian Horner already had meetings with Colapinto.
I love it, dude. Colapinto needs a ride, man. I'm sold on Colapinto. I'm pulling for him every week for the rest of the year, man. I like Colapinto. I'm impressed as hell with Colapinto.
And he's actually, I mean, it seems to me like he's one of the guys that, you know, is actually, I feel like he's very thankful to be in the position that he's in. You know, it was actually kind of a cool moment. They got him on video the first time he met Lewis Hamilton, and he was like completely starstruck, which was like, it was kind of cool to see, you know what I mean? So, you know, I sincerely feel like he is sincerely thankful to be in the position that he's in. And man, hell of a driver. What he's doing with a Williams right now, if he could do what he's doing right now, but with an RB car, he'd be finishing on podiums. If he could get into a Red Bull car, Max Verstappen would have freaking competition.
100%. 100%. I mean, and what a difficult spot to be in, too, with a team that's underperformed for 2 years.
Forever.
The morale is completely shot.
The 90s.
Well, I'm just referring to the situation he jumped into in Sargent's car. I mean, I get it, yeah, since the 90s. But, I mean, this team has got to be filling at an all-time low. I mean, they got Albon, who hasn't really performed that well at all this year. I mean, really underperformed, underwhelming. Jumps into this situation, and he's absolutely turned it into gold. I mean, I would be extremely happy with what he's doing. I mean, what's the old saying in racing? Money can't buy you talent. Well, he's got money, but he also has talent. What can money buy you if you have talent? It could buy you opportunities in F1 where you can prove that you could be a championship contender, and I think he's doing that. He deserves every bit of it. Every bit of it.
He's got money and talent. So
yeah, and that's tough to find in the racing world. So I'm super excited for Colapinto. I'm also excited for Lawson. I know I just mentioned him a little bit, but Lawson's doing a fantastic job too. I think last week didn't get the performance I think he deserved. This week as well because of the little bit of damage he had, which is unfortunate. But he's outrunning Perez. I mean,
yeah.
Like, what the hell? So yeah, great job by two young drivers there in F1 who've kind of jumped in late in the season in some strange happenings or situations. Let's talk about the very end of this race. The Ferrari 1-2 choke by Leclerc. On the final turn of the race, ran off the track, gave it up to Lawrence. Man, dang it, Leclerc. What are you doing, man? Oh, so unfortunate. I mean, they were doing a lot of lifting and coasting, but, I mean, I didn't feel like Norris was close enough. And we know Norris's track record all season long, and he's behind somebody. You can't pass him. He can't go. So I don't understand what the push was there by Leclerc. I think they had it locked up.
I don't know. I think that Sainz was just on a different level than Leclerc this weekend. And I am convinced that Ferrari is not giving Sainz the best parts. Obviously, I think it's going to Leclerc. It just goes to show how superior Sainz is. Mm-hmm. And a damn shame that the only team he could connect with was Williams.
Yeah, that's another thing why I was excited to see Sainz win this race, because this could be his final Grand Prix victory of his career. I mean, this could have been it. Yeah. This could have been his grande view goodbye to winning success.
And I called it.
And Tom called it, which was great. I thought Leclerc would win. I expected a Ferrari one too, to be honest with you, and I thought it would be Leclerc over Sainz because of what Tom said. It seems like they're giving Leclerc the better equipment, giving him the better strategies. And I think we even said that during the race when they pitted Leclerc first. We're like, why are they giving Leclerc the freaking preferred strategy?
Exactly.
But it didn't matter. Sainz just had it, man. Sainz was on it this weekend, man. I would love to see him win at least one more before the end of this year. I think he can win Vegas, dude. I think Vegas, he was the fastest car last year. He proved it in practice, but when they hit that little sprinkler hole cover, that ruined their entire week, man. And so I think if they could bring the pace that they had last year, I think we'd have seen Sainz instead of Leclerc racing for that win last year against Verstappen, but we didn't get to see that. So I'm excited to see Vegas. I think that'll be the next race that we see the Sainz kick ass in. I don't know about Brazil this weekend. We'll see. We'll give you our predictions here in a minute, but what an awesome race. Lawson, fast lap at the end of the race, having to pit there at the end for that extra wing. So awesome job by him. Shout out to him. Sainz P1, Norris P2, Leclerc P3. That's your podium. I'll go standings for the Drivers' Championship. Verstappen, 47-point lead over Norris. So Norris is cutting into it a little bit with 2 sprint races to go and four Grand Prix, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes, I mean, it can close it. And then Leclerc 71 back in third. And then constructors, Ferrari making the late season surge, man. They're only 29 behind McLaren. And then Red Bull 44 back, which I think that's cooked. Yeah, they're cooked. They're just going for drivers at this point.
Team Verstappen?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about with the F1 race? Anything I missed? I mean, what a banger of a race, right?
It was banger. And this weekend's going to be a freaking banger, too. A banger freaking race course.
Oh, Brazil's my favorite course on the entire F1 circuit, dude. I'm super freaking stoked for this race, man. This race honestly, this weekend's going to be nutty.
All it needs to do is rain, and you'll have a freaking classic.
Oh, dude. Interlagos in the rain is so freaking good, man. I love Interlagos, man. I love it so much. I think if NASCAR was to go to Brazil, they need to go race at freaking Interlagos. I don't know if it'll be any good, but God, I love that circuit so much, man. That's like the best.
It'll be good.
Like if you're gonna design a racing circuit, like just look at Interlagos. Just look at that, and then like decide how you're gonna make it better. Which I good luck. I don't know how you can.
Yeah, right.
I love Interlagos, man. I like the World Dirt Championship race they ran there earlier this year was one of the best races of the season. I love that track. It's so freaking good, man. I'm excited. Yeah. We'll talk about that in a minute, but we have to cap off the weekend with our final race, which is the Cup race. And like you said, Tom, I put F1 at priority over the Cup race, but I had it going on my phone. I had the F1 race on my TV and had the Cup race on my phone, and so I watched them both simultaneously. And when the F1 race ended, obviously I catch the ending of the Cup race. But Tyler Reddick qualifies on pole. Definitely was the best car in this race, in my opinion. Let's talk about lap 1 with the Justin Haley turns himself off of Ricky Stenhouse. Cursed, man. The 15 in the Xfinity, the 7 in the Cup, they're just absolutely freaking cursed, man. The LaJoie and Deegan effect has not worn off those teams or those cars yet, man. I mean, wow, what an absolute... I was going to nominate as a bonehead of the week, but there was just so many good options here. It was hard to put him in here, but unbelievable. Like, I think that was your dark horse pick, and I after the start of the race, I was like, man, that's actually not a bad pick, especially after qualifying. I was like, damn, dude, that 7 car's going to be quick. But no. Yeah, his race was over.
Yeah,
I think he destroyed the underbody and everything going up the banking when he spun it around. So, yeah, his race was done. That 7 car's cursed. Don't look for that 7 to be doing anything of significance for the rest of this year. They need to just wash this year away and restart next year fresh. That's all I can say. That's been rough. Excuse me. And then we had another caution. End of stage 1, towards the middle of stage 1 with old Hung Money. Another tire goes flat on Hung Money. This has happened twice to him in the playoffs. What are they doing? What is happening to this team? And it's Hung Money. It's Hung Money. I mean, it's the Hung Money effect, dude.
Dude, that's like the greatest nickname ever. I swear to God. That's just amazing. That's just an awesome nickname. It fits so well, too. In fact, Jay, you know what we should do? We should make a flag. Put Hung Money on it, right across the top, big old letters. Put Kyle Larson's face right on it, fly it at Talladega.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm down for it, dude. We got to. That's so awesome. Freaking Hung Money, man. And that ruined his race, really. I mean, he was in the back for most of the day. He did recover at the end. We'll talk about that later in this race. But yeah, more Hung Money moments. Reddick wins stage 1. And then Hamlin wins stage 2 off of a little bit of strategy. Stayed out a little bit longer than everybody else. Charged late in that stage with the long run car that he had. Ends up winning stage 2. So, I mean, what did we see all race long, though? We saw Reddick, Hamlin, Blaney, and Elliott. Those were your 4 fastest cars all day long. And those were the guys in the must-win situation. So, really, that's what you wanted to see, man. The guys with their backs against the wall. You wanted to see them battle for this win. And that's exactly what we saw. The race really changed towards the end of this race, though. The final round of pit stops of the day, most everybody went and pitted early in that end of that stage, tried to split it in half to make it to the end of the race. Reddick was not as quick as Elliott, Blaney, and Hamlin at this moment. He had to kind of throw a Hail Mary at it, and that's what they did. They stayed out as long as they possibly could. I mean, to the absolute end of their fuel life, bled a lot of time. Unfortunately, had to pit late. Weren't going to be able to make it to the end of the race. No caution came out. They were looking like their race. They were cooked. They were done. And then Larson and Blaney battling for the lead. Larson finally battles himself back into contention in this race. Blaney's leading. Then Larson decides to send it 3 wide in the middle of Blaney and Austin Dillon and pulls another hung money moment. I mean, what the hell?
Hung money. Honestly.
I mean, can't believe it, dude. What was he thinking, bro? Come on.
It's the highlight of my weekend every freaking weekend. To go back and watch Hung Money do Hung Money stuff.
I mean, absolutely ridiculous, man. And at this point, Reddick had just pitted. Reddick stayed on the lead lap through that pit sequence and inherits the lead off this restart. I mean, unbelievable. And then, so let's talk about this finish, because this was a damn good finish, man. I like we said, or was it 2 weeks ago of Vegas or last week of Vegas? What a freaking awesome finish that was to that race and how the field strategy and everything. This was kind of a mano-a-mano battle. We had the 4 best cars battling for the win: Hamlin, Blaney, Reddick, and Elliott battling for the win. Hamlin gets an amazing restart, takes the lead. Looks like he's going to win the race. And then Blaney. Oh my goodness, man. Mast, I feel like Blaney had the best car at the end of this race. Definitely deserved to win this. Gets by Hamlin with 2 to go. Let's talk about turn number 3 on the final lap. What did you say?
Paid actor.
There it is.
Paid actor. You cannot convince me that Ryan Blaney... let's preface this by saying Ryan Blaney is a very smart person. He is not stupid. He's not stupid at all. And you're going to try to convince me that he didn't know that Tyler Reddick was going to roll the outside? We're talking about a guy who brags about how close he can get to the wall going through the corners at Homestead. He brags about ripping the billboards. He's fast ripping the billboards. He showed it all weekend long. And you're just going to give him the free lane on the last corner of the last lap? Paid actor, you cannot convince me otherwise. There's something wrong there. Ryan Blaney is not stupid. Ryan Blaney is a very smart race car driver. There is no way in any other situation that he would ever do that. There's not another driver who would ever do that. Tyler Reddick got handed a wet dream going into turn 3, and he took it and ran with it. And it's like Blaney didn't even try to defend. You know, he got to his quarter panel and he was just like, well, I lost.
Well, he ran in no man's land. Nobody runs the middle of the track at Homestead. You either run the bottom right around the yellow line or you run the boards. There's no other way to run that track.
Yeah,
like Tom said, paid actors. How much money did frickin' Michael Jordan pay to get that spot in the playoffs, dude? Like, when I saw it live, I said it was stupid. People are praising Reddick for the move he made. He didn't do shit.
People are losing their freaking minds, dude.
Blaney choked it. There's no other way around it. He gave it up. Paid actor, man.
He didn't even choke it. He just gave it up.
Just quit. He just quit. He didn't even want to win the race, which is stupid because I picked him to win. He had the best car. What are you doing, Blaney? I was about to be so happy, dude. I was about to be like, look at Blaney, man. Look at Blaney, man. And then he just, what was that, dude? I want an explanation, man. I want an investigation, bro. Like, come on. We're gonna kick somebody out of the playoffs because they race for a win, but then we're not gonna kick somebody out because they give away a win? I mean, that's as much race manufacturing as I've ever seen, bro. Like, come on.
It's paid actor. It is paid actor.
I hate it, man. It freaking sucks, dude. It sucks. And now that locks Reddick into the championship 4, which he's not going to win. I mean, Phoenix, he's not going to win the championship now. Not against Logano.
If there's a Penske car in Phoenix going for a championship, you got to bring your A+++ game because they got something figured out there.
I think the only driver that could beat them just by pure raw talent would be Bell. And that's saying something. I mean, Reddick ain't gonna be able to beat him head up. There's no way. But yeah, so Reddick locks himself in the championship 4. Blaney, whatever the hell that was, I still don't understand it. I'm devastated for him. Hamlin choked it, which that doesn't shock me one bit, not at all, because that's Hamlin. That's typical Hamlin crap. But Blaney, come on, man, you're kidding, bro. He's a champion, dude. Champions don't do that crap. What are you talking about? All right, well, let's talk about the point standings and maybe a little bit of a precursor of what we see this weekend. So, Reddick and Logano, they're safe. They're locked in. Bell plus 29. I don't think he's safe, but I do think he's safe at the same time. I think Bell still wins this championship this year. I would put money on it if I was forced to right now. I still think Bell's going to win this championship, and I think he's going to have a successful weekend this weekend at Martinsville. Do you feel the same about Bell? Do you think he's going to make it or not?
I think he's going to have a chance, but like I said, Penske's in the Final Four. They're going to Phoenix. It's seriously, I just think it's Logano's championship to lose now.
I mean, I agree. If Logano doesn't win it, it'll be an upset, in my opinion.
It's absolutely going to be an upset. It's going to be a shocker. Sorry, I meant to say shocker. It's going to be a shocker if Joey Logano does not win the championship this year.
All right. What about Byron plus 7, Larson minus 7? I think Byron's cooked, man. Especially the performance we've seen last year at Martinsville with him. That team, they're fast, but they're just not winning fast. Even this weekend, they just weren't fast enough. I mean,
no.
I think Byron's cooked. Hung Money? I think Hung Money's cooked, bro.
Yeah, I don't think Hung Money has it. I mean, come on. We're going to one of the most physical racetracks on the circuit. And
physical guy.
Look, he's gonna pull another Hung Money move. It's going to happen. There's just no doubt about it. You know what I mean? Like, I would honestly, honest to God, I would choose Hamlin over Larson.
I would too.
I really would. I really would. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, pure speed, obviously Larson has it. He can't put a race together. So, you got to take that into consideration. Byron has no speed, but he can at least finish a race. Hamlin can finish a race, sometimes has speed, but it's also Hamlin.
Yeah.
So, you have all the different, standpoints of drivers right now. Which one would you take? I mean, in my opinion, you take the one that has the most points above the cut line, which is Byron.
Yeah, I
mean,
you're right.
Byron's going to run 25th, finish 20th.
Yeah, he's not going to run good in this race. I have a really strong feeling about that.
Larson's going to run 5th, be fighting for, he's going to be fighting with the 30th place car and Hung Money himself. And then Hamlin, he's going to be leading the race and he's going to blow a tire because he made some dumb decision passing a lap car and cut a tire.
Yeah. Or he'll just pick the wrong lane and get pissed off about it. And
then he loses his mind.
Yeah, loses his mind every year. Yeah. I know it's tough. That's why. And Elliott, I think Elliott's cooked unless, I mean, he can win in Martinsville. He's shown it in the past, but not in this car. I mean,
I don't think Elliott has it. I just don't. I don't think
he's got to win. Unless, I mean, there's no other way around it. Him and Blaney have to win, and I don't. If I was to guess between the two, which one could win the race, I would put Blaney.
It's Blaney
heads over heels above Elliott.
Yeah, honestly, Bell or Blaney's going to win this race.
I agree. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I'm right there with you. I think those are your. I mean, it would be a crime if both of them didn't make it. At least one of them has to make it because those have been your best two through the stretch of these playoffs. I mean, I think that's just the way I feel about that. So I don't know. That's the landscape. I mean, right now it's like Tom said, it's Byron. Can he find speed? Hung Money being Hung Money. Denny Hamlin, the typical yearly choke, or Blaney Elliott got to win. Bell's just got to have a freaking decent day. He just has to score stage points at both stages and then get a top 10 finish. I think he'll be fine. So, Yeah, I think that's what we're looking at. So, yeah, I think that's all for this weekend's races. What an awesome weekend of racing, man. A little bit of theatrics. We had some cool wins with Enfinger getting the back-to-back. That was pretty awesome. F1 Grand Prix, best race of the weekend by a landslide. Freaking
Yeah.
amazing race.
Yep.
I mean, the twists and turns in that thing, the drama is just so much entertainment there. Cup race, I guess look at Blaney, man. What the hell? What the hell are you doing? Drivers of the week, Connor Mosak, P3 in the truck race. I think this is his best finish in the trucks ever. I mean, congratulations to him. Kevin Magnussen, P7 in the F1 race. Look at that. K-Mag, not being K-Mag this week and actually getting a good result. And then also, I guess I missed this in the cup race. I forgot to talk about it. Carson Hocevar, P9. What a freaking race he had, man. He was in the top 10. He drove himself up to the 4th at one point. What a race Hocevar had.
Yeah, he's turned it up. Next year is going to be extremely promising for him. He's going to have amazing resources around him. He's going to have that partnership. Yeah, and they have the partnership with colleagues. So like, I'm sorry, not colleague. That team is freaking trash. Trackhouse.
Or yeah, Trackhouse. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, so I think he's only going to get better. Watch out. Because he's going to win some races here real soon, real quick.
Yeah, and he's got a great freaking crew chief, too. So I'm excited to see them evolve together. So great run by Hostin Karzavar this weekend. Bonehead of the week, Connor Jones dumping Matt Mills. I mean, it's hard to even label this a bonehead move of the week. It's like, it's more of just a freaking, it's just terrible. Just garbage. No respect for this guy, man, at all. It's just terrible look. Obviously Sergio Perez, another clownery weekend by him. I mean, there's nothing else to say besides clownery weekend, and you could literally tag Sergio Perez's name next to it in a tweet, just terrible. And then obviously Kyle Larson being hung money again. I mean, threw this race away twice. I mean, in one race. I mean, unbelievable.
2 times.
He's Mr. 2-time hung money. Oh man. Alrighty. Let's do it, man. Let's preview the races this weekend. This weekend is the final round of the playoffs for the Trucks Xfinity Cup. We're gonna lock in the final 2 in the Xfinity, final 2 in the Cup, and final 3 in the Trucks. When we've already went through the points and kind of a little preview of who we think is gonna advance in each of those series. So we'll get into some notable entries with them as well. Also, F1's back again at Brazil this weekend, and then they take a couple week break before they go to Vegas, and then obviously they do round it out in the Middle East with their final 2 races at Bahrain, and then or not Bahrain, at Abu Dhabi, and was it Lasalle? I think it's Lasalle as well. So that'll be good. And then obviously the one I'm really looking forward to, the World Endurance Championship at Bahrain, the championship round, the final race of the year. Sadness all around, but I'm excited. This race is going to be freaking thrilling. I can't wait to watch this race. It's going to be so freaking good. So, notable entries in the truck series this weekend. We got William Swallich back with Tricon in the 1 truck. Brett Moffitt with Hettinger Racing, their debut together this weekend. Let's go, Brett Moffitt. Norm Benning, he's going to be making the tow down there to Martinsville. See if he can put that thing in the show.
Hell yeah, brother.
Oh, man. Connor Zilich in the number 7 truck for Spire this weekend. Johnny Sauter back with a Tory, making another appearance in the truck series in that 16 machine. And then Corey Day making another truck series start from McAnally. Xfinity Swallich run doubleheader in the number 19 JGR Toyota in the Xfinity series race with Eric Almirola in the number 20 JGR Toyota. Bubba Pollard making another Xfinity series start. He had a great race there last year in the Xfinity series, or was it earlier this year in the Xfinity? Now he's going to be running it back this time with Sam Hunt Racing in the 26. And then also Myatt Snyder back in the field this weekend. The number 91 DGM. I wonder if he's still seeing stars from the last time he was at Martinsville. Punched in the face by old Austin Hill. And then in the Cup Series, we got Kaz Gralla in the number 15 Rickware Racing Machine, as well as SVG with Colleague in the 16, and then Josh Bulicki with MBM this weekend. All right, Tom, let's do it. Saturday, the Truck Series, the Zip Buy Now, Pay Later 200 from Martinsville.
The what?
The Zip Buy Now, Pay Later 200.
What the fuck?
This is cool. NASCAR we're talking about, man. It's not that's kind of funny too, but then you got the National Debt Relief 250 for things. It's just fitting names.
Is it on election day?
Yeah, I don't know. That's funny. All right, for the truck series, my pick this weekend, he's probably arguably the best short track racer, I think, in the entire truck series field. He's currently the last seed in the playoffs. I don't think he's going to need to rely on points this weekend. I think he's going to lock himself in with a victory. I'm going with Ty Majeski. I think he's going to be, I mean, he's been so good on short tracks this year. Dominant performances on pretty much every short track we've been to. I think he's going to do it again. And I think that the pressure on the Championship 4, ThorSport is going to make the Championship 4 with at least one truck this year. They seem to do it every year, and this year it's going to be Majeski, and I think Majeski's going to get the job done on Saturday. My dark horse is because I'm a huge fan of this guy. I've seen him in person. I'm going to live and die on this hill. I know he took out Andy Jesus. We'll give him a little bit of forgiveness for that. I think Jesus would do the same. I'm going to go with Corey Day this weekend as my dark horse. I want to see if he can do something in a McAnally truck, man. Maybe this track will be more to his racing style. I don't know. I would like to see him up in the top 15, racing up towards the front a little bit and maybe get some more experience. I would like to see Corey Day do some good things here.
All right. My favorite, just because I've been calling him all year long. He's going to win the championship. He's in the Final Four. He's going to go back-to-back. It's Enfinger. Going to take the checker flag at Martinsville. He's going to spice it up. He's going to make the bottom two battle it out in points. So, I believe. And we're going to get that number 9 truck a championship, baby. Then for my dark horse, I mean, you really can't go wrong anywhere here. Yeah, I'm just going to go Zilich. He's a prodigy, and so excited to see his future. But I want to give an honorable mention. Let's go Norm Benning. Made the last race he was qualifying for. He can do it again here at Martinsville. I'm really excited to see that 6 truck out on track. Hell yeah, brother.
Heck yeah, dude. Old Norm Benning, baby. Let's go. All right, and then after the truck race on Saturday, we have the Xfinity Series race, the National Debt Relief 250. This is it, man. This is to lock us in. Like we said, man, we previewed this a little bit. Everything's lining up for this to be an instant classic. Xfinity cars at Martinsville, championship hopes being on the line, being dashed, being achieved. Wow. I'm excited for this race. This race, I feel like, is going to be one of the best races of the weekend, if not the best race of the weekend. I'm super excited for this race. But with that being said, everything points to this guy. I mean, he's not going to win the championship. We can already cross him off there. But can he get there again? Yes, he can. Justin Allgaier is going to win this race. I think it's going to be a dominant Allgaier type race, man. I think the veteran experience, this car, his racing style, everything just fits Allgaier this weekend. As long as he doesn't do anything stupid like win the first 2 stages and then freaking wreck out at the end like he's done so many times this year. I just don't see it. The clutch is here. He's the only hope that Junior Motorsports has, and I think he's going to clutch it in this weekend. And then my dark horse, I'm going with Bubba Pollard. He finished 5th here in the spring. Can he do it again? Yes, he can. Sam Hunt Racing ain't that bad of a little chip to drive. And he's a hell of a freaking short track driver. He's won at Martinsville and super late models and in the Cars Tour before. I think he's going to have a top 5 again this weekend, dude. I really do. I think Bubba Pollard's one to watch. And maybe if cards are played right at the end of this race, we get a little weird strategy, maybe some late race drama. Man, Bubba Pollard can win this race. So I'm going to take him as my dark horse.
Yep. You know what, Jay? I'm not going to stray from it either. I chose this man last year to win the championship. He didn't, but I think he's going to win it this year because I've been calling him all year long. He's had kind of an off year, but it doesn't matter because the playoffs reward drivers who win races and not who is consistent. So I'm going with Allgaier, baby. 2 years in a row, he's going to go to the championship race. This time, he's going to win it. And it's going to start here in Martinsville. My dark horse, I was going to go Pollard, but I'm going to show the love here. I am going Sawalich. Isn't he going full-time Xfinity next year? Pretty sure he is.
So, yeah.
What a stacked rookie class, by the way. Super excited to watch that. The pinnacle of stock car oval racing. The Xfinity Series going to be litty next year, and I'm super excited about it. So Walich looking to make a statement early for next year. I think he's going to be having a great race. There's no reason why he shouldn't have a great race.
Heck yeah, those are some good picks. I'm super excited for this race. Gonna be Saturday already, dude. I just want to watch this
I
race
know, right?
so bad, dude. So bad. Alrighty. And then also on Saturday, we get a little bit of sprint race action for Formula One. I'm gonna go with Verstappen. And the only reason I'm gonna go for Verstappen here in the sprint race is because he swept all of them this year. I just think the trend continues. I think he's gonna get the job done. If he knows one thing, it's the sprint races, man. And those with the Red Bulls, with how terrible they are, if you give Verstappen a short race from the lead, he's gonna hang on and win the race. He makes it so hard to pass. I think it's what he's gonna do this weekend. Then my dark horse, I'm gonna go with Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg running wild. I think those Haas cars have really shown a lot of pace as of late, and I think Hulkenberg's gonna get. I think he's gonna score points in this sprint race. I think he's definitely gonna be in the top 8. So I'll go Hulkenberg.
Yeah, for my favorite, I mean, obviously we got a Ferrari glow up happening right now. Again, it happens every year. It's some Ferrari backwards ass
Voodoo
engineering
magic.
they got. Whatever, man. So I'm gonna go with Leclerc for the sprint race. I think it's just pretty obvious. I mean, you got a great point with Verstappen. It's Verstappen. I mean, he could take the freaking Sauber car and score points with it every freaking race weekend. It doesn't matter. But and then for my dark horse, I'm also going Hulkenberg. You just can't go wrong with the guy. He's just a freaking point-making machine, baby.
Yeah,
Like, women need to stay away from him because he be making babies with that thing. Golly, he can... Yeah. Anyways, what to expect? Dude, it's freaking Sao Paulo. Like, this racetrack creates amazing racing. Even when Mercedes was on their dominant tear for 8 years, 7 years, whatever it was, that track made everything so interesting just because of how dynamic it is, how unique everything is. Like Red Bull would be able to compete with Mercedes, or Ferrari with Mercedes, or Ferrari and Red Bull, or Renault and sometimes even Ferrari, and it was just, it's a great track. Pray to God that it rains because it'll be a freaking instant classic.
Yes.
Especially with all the drama and point situation that we're in now. It could be seriously the most amazing race we could ever witness in F1.
Yeah, both titles are still in play. I mean,
yeah.
We haven't seen this in a while, so this is going to be crazy all the way down to the end of this season. So it all begins sprint race though. Points are on the line. 8 for the win, 1 for 8. So got to get these points as they stand. All right, before we get into the F1 Grand Prix, I do want to talk about the race I'm really freaking excited for as well on Sunday, the World Endurance Championship, the finale, the Bapco Energies, 8 hours of Bahrain. What a race this was last year. I mean, this was a freaking banger of a race. I don't expect anything different this year around. As it goes to Hypercar, the winner of this race, they're leading the championship right now. They put on an absolute dominant performance all season long. They did it in IMSA. They're doing it in WEC. That's Penske Porsche, number 6. I could be really misleading myself here because I did pick the number 7 Porsche Penske that was leading the championship in the IMSA series to win the finale at Petit Le Mans with the walk-off win, and that didn't happen at all. But with that being said, I'm just going to stick with it. I'm going to ride the walk-off win sentiment here in the World Endurance Championship. The Porsches are going to be fast. The Ferraris are going to be fast. The Toyotas are going to be fast. It's going to be a battle between those 3 manufacturers in this race. I just think Porsche, throughout the length of the race into the nighttime hours, I think they're just going to be the better team. And I think when the end of this race, they're going to look up, and I think Porsche is going to be at the top of the pylon there with the strategy they've had, the pace in those cars. The drivers behind the wheel are just phenomenal in the number 6 Porsche Penske. I think they're going to get the job done. When it comes to my dark horse, I just feel so bad for this team, man. They basically stepped into a minefield this year, and they're trying to learn this Lamborghini out, man. And it's been tough. They got good drivers. They've had flashes of greatness, glimpses. I mean, I look back at Le Mans, both cars were running up in the top 7, 8 at one point before they had their issues. I'm gonna go with the 63 Lambo this weekend. I mean, I wanted to take the Alpine, I did, but Alpine has just been same with Lambo. They've just been so hit and miss, and I don't know how I feel about Alpine right now. But I would love to see Lambo get a top 10 in this race, man. I would love to see it. Come on, Lambo. Come on, let's end the 2024 on the right note. Let's get ready for 25.
I think Jay just explained the definition of wet dream.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right. So we're doing hypercar. All right. So my favorite. Look, exactly what Jay said. It's going to be a Porsche, Toyota, and Ferrari battle for the win. Honestly, I think it's the number 50 Ferrari that's going to win. I just want to see the number 8 Toyota to win, just to, they just that performance at Le Mans, just because Toyota was going to win that race, and they choked it. And I don't know, there's just been so many races this year. I just feel like it would be, what a way to cap off a terrible deadbeat season that could have, what could have been with a win. So I have this feeling that the number 50 Ferrari is going to do extremely well, but those Porsches are going to be really hard to beat. So I'm just going to kind of go off to the wayside here and go with the Toyota. But my dark horse, and by God, I thought after the first race of this year, we had something going, baby. We had something. It's such a beautiful car, but that thing is a hunk of shit. I tell you what.
It's a dump truck.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Put the frickin' rear wing back on it, and let's get competitive, okay? Jesus, this thing is terrible, but you know what? Let's just, finish the race. Whatever. Let's just do that. I'm taking the number 94 Peugeot as my dark horse.
Heck yeah. I would love to see it, man. I'd love to see it, but who knows? I mean, like you said with Toyota's not a bad pick here. I mean, their year's been so lopsided with the BOPs early in the season that completely neutered the GR010.
Yep.
Then they took the BOPs off. They won a couple races. They put the BOPs back on. It's like they can't buy a break, man. So, yeah, so that's a good pick with Toyota. I'd like to see them end the season on a good note. But when it comes to LMGT3, I was going to take BMW regardless. And like I said a lot with Toyota, they start off the gate with the great performance they had at Daytona, and then they freaking BOP'd them in IMSA to the absolute freaking ground. Then they go out and had a good performance in the first race this season in WEC. They BOP'd them to the ground, and they've just completely been going back and forth on the BOP all the way to now. And right now, BMW, the last 3 races this year, whether it was IMSA or WEC, have just been head over heels better than everybody else, in my opinion. The BMWs are on it right now. So then that narrowed it down for me with the winner. But then I was like, which one of the BMWs is going to win this weekend? I was like, ain't nobody but Valentino Rossi, dude. If you guys missed the last race, bro, at Fuji, freaking Valentino Rossi was an absolute maniac machine behind the wheel. Darting 3 wide to the inside, split in the middle, battling to the outside. Valentino Rossi's little 1-hour stint there was one of the greatest displays of driving I have seen all season long.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of this guy, man. Bro, coming from racing motorcycles into cars and then being as fast as he is off rip, there's not many drivers in the world that can just transition series to series and just pick it up that quick. I knew he had raw talent from that first race I watched at the beginning of the year when they were the 12 hours of Bathurst for the GT4 cars, and I was like, holy cow, man, Valentino Rossi could drive, and he is an absolute Chad all season long. I think they are not ending this year without a win, and it's happening this weekend at Bahrain. Those BMWs are fast. Valentino Rossi has got it. He's an amazing driver, and as long as his teammates don't do anything stupid like they did at freaking Le Mans, I think they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. I'm going with Valentino Rossi in the number 46 BMW this weekend. And then my dark horse, I don't even know how this is considered a dark horse, considering they won this race last year, but they have been just so terrible this year. They had glimpses at Coda. I mean, that Coda race looked like they were going to win that damn thing, and then they flopped it at the end. I'm going with Iron Dames. Iron Dames, man. I would love to see them. Maybe they can go back-to-back at Bahrain this year, man. Maybe that can happen. I think the big difference with this team, and I don't think we've really talked about it much, Tom, but I think it was the loss of Dorian Pon. I think that has really been the devastation to this team this year. I think Dorian Pon is just here. Like, she's just that good. And without her behind the wheel this year, I think that team's taken a definite step backwards. But they got one more chance to redeem themselves.
I agree, but you can't really say that, like, especially like an 8-hour, 10-hour, 12-hour, 24-hour race, that Dorian carried that team. I mean, obviously, it takes a team. Frey is a great driver.
Yeah,
I'm drawing a blank on the other one. I'm sorry, Gattenberg. Thank you. She's a great driver too. I just think that when Pond left, there was like some sort of missing, vibe there. They just don't even seem like themselves. Because if you watch them on track, the aggressiveness is just not there anymore.
Mm-mm.
It's like the lap times, they're not there anymore, which could be a variety of things, but like sometimes the drivers can extract maybe just a little bit more, but you're not seeing that aggressive tone on track. I agree. Something else left when Dorian Pond left. And it shows. It shows. So unfortunate. It really is. But they have nothing to hang their heads about. They won a freaking race in WEC last year. That's insane.
Insane.
That's insane. So, all right. My favorite, LMGT3, had a great run at Le Mans until they had the rollover in the final few hours. It's the number 27 Harder Racing, Aston Martin. I'm honestly choosing them because I'm choosing to share the love, because I would have chose Valentino Rossi as well, because that guy's a freaking maniac. Have you seen that guy drive? Good lord, it's like Crazy Taxi.
He's fun to watch, man. He's must-watch TV. Fun to watch. Must-watch TV.
Yeah, absolutely. And then my dark horse, I'm doing it every race. I've done it every race this year. It's the number 77 Proton Ford Mustang, because what a freaking meme. Fix your rear wing already. Good lord. 2025 is a new year. Start over.
Back to the drawing board. Oh, I love it, man. This race is going to be so good, dude. It's going to be so many layers, man. Like, the 6-hour races are freaking awesome, but like when you get to like the 8 to 12 to even the 24, there's something different about them. The transitions in the daylight, to the temperature changes on track, to the different strategies throughout the race, the weird timed cautions. I mean, they're just so freaking fun to watch. And I think after this race, we're going to be talking about this a lot next week, because this is going to be a freaking banger of a race, and I'm super excited for it. So everybody tune in. A little bit off on the time changes. It's on HBO Max if you guys are looking for it. I'm sure you can get it somewhere else too, but it's going to be freaking awesome. All right, the F1 Brazilian Grand Prix. Oh, man. Like this is going to be another good race, because the track is just amazing. It's going to put on a good show. The championship battles, the constructors battles, everything's just tightened up. But that being said, I picked him last week to win. I'm just going to stick with it. Ferrari, right? Alien. Whatever they're doing in that entire program, that I don't understand why they're always so fast at the end of the year. They always turn it up. They're doing it again. I think we're going to see another one too for Ferrari, but I think this time, Leclerc is the one that gets the job done this weekend. I'll stick with it. We'll see. I still think Sainz is going to be tough to beat, man. He's just such a good driver, dude. And then for my dark horse, I bragged about him earlier. I'm going to keep bragging about him, dude. This guy, Colapinto, man. I can't wait to see what he could do around Interlagos, man. It's going to be so freaking good. I think he can score points, Tom. I really do. I think Colapinto is going to put on a show. He's going to definitely carry the banner for Williams. And I want to see him just continue to learn, develop, and I want to see an opportunity to open up for him. And I think this is another great track, which Tom said, hopefully it rains. If it rains, it can be an instant classic.
Yeah.
I think that somebody like a Colapinto can surprise some people this weekend. And if he hasn't been surprising you yet, then I don't think you've been watching good enough or understand it well enough. But what he's been doing this year and the few starts he's had, phenomenal. Phenomenal driver. I'm 100% sold on Colapinto. There's certain drivers you watch, right, Tom? Like, I feel like me and you are pretty good at detecting talent from the mid, like maybe the people that have the talent but don't get the recognition from the people that get the recognition that we don't think might have the talent. Like Josh Berry, we sniffed that out. Yeah, Lando Norris. Yeah, Josh Berry. There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a list of names of drivers we've sniffed out from the beginning that people are like,
LaJoy.
oh, we're high on it. Yeah, LaJoy. I think we're the first ones to come on here and shit on LaJoy before LaJoy became the meme LaJoy is now. You know, there's and we've also done the other end too. We noticed Sawal or Zilich well before other people were noticing him. We noticed him last year when he ran the Mazda MX-5 Cup and was freaking in a drafting class. He pulled like a freaking second and a half on the pack. I mean, we're like, that kid's going somewhere. And that was last year. So like we know we can spot talent. I think Calapinto is one of these guys that has definitely got the talent.
Yeah. All right. My favorite. I believe so much in this guy. I think he's going back to back. I'm going Sainz, and he's got the equipment to do it. Apparently, he's got the freaking team to do it. That's freaking mind blowing. And he's got the drive to do it too. Again, like what you said, Jay, it could potentially be his last race win in F1, especially with the switch going to Williams. So, I wholly expect him to be driving his absolute heart out, and him running up front. I think right now Sainz is in better racing form than Leclerc. I do, and I think it went on to full display at Mexico. So watch out for Sainz. He's going to be doing something this weekend. For dark horses, I recognize Colapinto. He is phenomenal. He needs to be in that RB seat next year. He really does. Deserves it. And I wholly agree with Jay. I would choose him, but I'm again going to share the love here. What a hell of a drive by Magnussen at Mexico. Oh my God. I mean, that was probably a career-defining drive there for Magnussen. And to go out on a high note like that, especially going into the, end times for himself in F1, what a way to capitalize, man. I think he can do the same thing at Sao Paulo. Haas is on to something, man. Haas is on to something. That new team manager, forgive me, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm not even going to try. I apologize. Huge fan, though. Huge fan. We are seeing what Gunther Steiner did with Haas back in 15, 16, 17, now with a new director. And I think it's great. I think he's awesome. I think he knows what he's doing. I mean, look, he's been the lead engineer at Haas since 15, since 16. So like, he knows what he's doing on the engineering side. Obviously, it's working. That Haas team, give it some time, I sincerely believe is going to be fighting for some wins. They got a couple of rookies next year. It's fine.
Well, they got Behrman and Ocon, I believe, are driving next year, isn't it?
Oh, it's Ocon. Sorry. Yeah. For some reason, I was thinking.
And they're bringing Toyota's coming in as a big financial partner too. So I mean, they're going to get more funding into that team as well. So
yeah. So, which is great. Which is probably a side benefit of getting that new team principal. Which seriously, it's great. I mean, you do what you got to do, and I sincerely believe all Haas needs is just a little bit more money. But, look, Haas is on to do great things. Just keep it in mind. But I think Magnussen's going to continue to go out on a high note. I'm choosing Magnussen for my dark horse.
Alrighty. I did not change my fantasy lineup, but I might have to throw Colapinto in here. But for now, my lineup: Norris, Piastri, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, Lawson. I just haven't changed it because I just really don't want to take the hit, and we're this close to the end of the season. I just feel like I'm just gonna leave those 5 for now.
Yeah.
Maybe change it before Vegas, maybe, and then run 3 races at the end.
I don't even know, man. Like I'm so high on the racing right now. I could honestly
care less. Yeah, same.
I care. But I've got Leclerc, Piastri, Hulkenberg, Magnussen, and Tsunoda. I scored hella points this weekend, by the way.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. All right, and then the next one is McLaren and Williams are my 2 manufacturers, and I'm glad I got Williams on there with Colapinto. That's
damn straight.
Me out this weekend.
Damn straight. I got Red Bull and Sauber, which terrible, just freaking terrible. just cancel it. Just
oh man.
Whatever.
Oh man. Alrighty. next, the final race of the weekend, the Xfinity 500 at Martinsville, the final race of the round of 8. We're gonna decide our final two drivers into the championship 4. Right now, we got Logano and Reddick locked in. We talked about the points earlier. Bell, Byron, currently in the inside spots. Larson, Hamlin, both right there in points positions to maybe close in on points, as well as Blaney and Elliott, who have to win this weekend. Martinsville at Cup Cars, this race isn't going to be that great, in my opinion, Tom. I don't know if you.
No.
Yeah, it's the car combination, the track, the tires. I mean, nothing about this race screams instant classic to me like the Xfinity does. It's going to come down to qualifying and not making mistakes. With that being said, I think two drivers I would cross off for either making mistakes and choke jobs is Hung Money and old Dickie Handlin. So I'm going to cross those two drivers off my list this weekend. I do not think that they make the championship for this year. Byron, I think he's going to be lack of speed. William Clyde Jr., Elliott Jr., I think he's going to be mid at best this weekend. I'm really confident about Bell. I think Tom said earlier, Bell or Blaney is going to win this race, and I have to 100% agree with him. I think I want to see Blaney make the championship 4. I really do. I would love to see. I think him, a Bell, a Logano, and a Reddick battle for the championship is just what this season needs. I feel like those drivers have been the most clutch, consistent, most wins, fastest when they need to be. If we don't get that championship 4, it'll be a crime and a shame on the 2024 season. So with that being said, I'm putting the confidence in Bell making it on points. I'm going to take Blaney to win the race to secure that final spot. And he did it last year. He did it last year in a must-win clutch situation. I think he does it again. Penske's on the short tracks, so good. Ford's on short tracks in general are so good. Blaney is just it factor. I think last weekend is not a representation of Blaney at all. I think Tom said it right. Paid actor. They had to get Jordan in there somehow, some way, and they weren't going to be able to do it at Martinsville because Reddick is an absolute garbage can on short tracks. So, yeah. Long-winded, but Blaney is winning this weekend, and he is going to secure himself in the championship 4. My dark horse, God, this guy is so good, man. He is so fun to watch. He reminds me of Ross Chastain in so many ways, man. But maybe I think he might have even a little bit more of a ceiling than Chastain. And I'm excited to see what he does in the future. I'm going with hosting Carsafar, man. I think hosting Carsafar is going to really do some great things this weekend, man. I'm excited to see him get another top 10 finish.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, like Jay said, I think it's going to be Blaney or Bell. In fact, if it's anybody else, I mean, honestly, shocker, to be honest.
It'll be a shocker. Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah. Jay chose Blaney. I honestly believe that Bell, if he wins this race, he's in. If he doesn't win this race, he's in. But he chose Blaney. I'm choosing Bell. I do think that Blaney's probably going to win this race, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm going to choose Bell as well, though. I mean, you really can't go wrong with either one of them. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't. But for the dark horse, I'm not sharing the love. It's Carsafar, baby. It's Carsafar time. And, yeah. Look, like Jay said, I mean, he reminds me of a Ross Chastain as well. I freaking love those attitudes. Like, Ross Chastain, Shane Van Gisbergen, hosting Carsafar. I mean, who else?
Verstappen.
Verstappen. I was trying to think of the NASCAR universe, NASCAR but guys, yeah.
I mean, there's so many good drivers that just don't quit, man.
Louis Foster.
In him. Yeah, Louis Foster doesn't have any quit in him. Yeah, there's just so many good drivers. Yeah.
Yeah. Carson can absolutely add himself to that category. I just think he's just a hell of a driver, never gives up, and just absolutely kicks ass. So I think he's a great dark horse. I am so excited to see what he can do next year. It is going to be so much fun to watch him. Hopefully NASCAR can fix their problem with those janky-ass cars. I highly doubt it, but you know what? I'm here on the hopeful side, And yeah, I think he's going to do good this weekend.
Heck yeah, dude. I'm excited to see what hosting Carson Bar does for sure in the future. NASCAR fantasy lineup. I'm gonna go Truex. Well, let me preface my fantasy lineup by saying I didn't put Bell, Blaney, Reddick, or Logano in my fantasy lineup. I only have one use left on all four of those guys, and I'm saving all four of them for the championship race because I think that's your championship four. So I didn't use any of them. I'm gonna use Truex, Bowman, Byron, Hamlin, and Elliott as my 5.
All right, my 5. I am choosing Bell, Bowman, Blaney, Hosen Karsavar, and Hung Money.
Hell yeah. Alrighty, and then matchups. I think the matchups are actually pretty decent this week as well. We got 2 teammates between Bell and Hamlin, both trying to get into the playoffs. I'm going Bell. Obvious reasons. I think if he doesn't win,
obvious.
like Tom said, he's probably going to finish second or third, do just enough to get into the championship 4 on points.
Yeah. I mean, this is a freaking no-brainer, guys. Come on. I mean,
oh, man.
Yeah, I think even freaking Burnt Ernie could figure that one out.
Ernie. Hell yeah. Alrighty. The next one, again, another pretty decent matchup. We got 2 teammates. We got Hung Money and William Byron. And I think that William Byron's not going to have the speed. Larson's not going to win. He's going to have a Hung Money moment at some point in this race. But knowing Hung Money, he'll battle back and be in contention at the end of this, probably in the top 5. So I'm going to take him over Byron. I just don't think Byron's going to be there all day, man. Like, I think Byron's going to be in trouble this race. I don't think he's going to be in the top 10, top 15 really all day. You're going to look at this race and you're going to be like, wow, Byron just can't figure it out at all. What's the strategy move he's going to have to pull to get into this race? That's what it's going to be like, man. Byron's just going to be so irrelevant.
Yeah, I agree, except for the point that it's hung money. And look, he may get himself in a situation where he may be able to drive back to the front, but he's gonna do hung money again. He's gonna look. If this was a 15,000 lap race, he would drive himself to the front, 9,000 times and then hung money himself. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much urgency in this 5 car and not enough talent to actually get that patience that you need to be a cup driver and to finish a race. I sincerely believe, yes, William Byron's not going to have a lot of speed. I think that who's his crew chief?
Rudy Fugle.
Gustafson? Oh, Fugle, that's right. My bad. Fugle knows. Right, he's not going to have a lot of speed. I mean, he's never had speed at Martinsville. Has he even finished top 10 in Martinsville ever?
I can't remember.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Honestly, I don't think so. We'll have to racing reference that. But regardless, they got to bring some experimental stuff here. Not an underweight car though. Hopefully not. But we'll see. Look, damn
it, dude. No, to go back to therapy, dude.
But look, Rudy Fugle is one of the smartest guys on pit road. I sincerely believe that. He is definitely not a Rodney Childers. And so I think that Rudy can come up with a solution for that 24 car. I just think Hung Money's going to Hung Money it. I think he's out. I think Hung Money is out. I don't think he's going to do anything. And the 24's in. Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But regardless, I think the 24 is going to do better than the 5. Because Hung Money.
Hung Money. All right, the next one, I don't think this is a very good matchup. We got Blaney and Elliott. Blaney, not even a freaking question. Right when I saw this matchup, I clicked 12 instantly. It ain't even a question in my brain.
Yeah, is this even a freaking question? Come on.
Look at Blaney, man. Come on. All right, and then the last one we've got, this is an interesting one. We got Truex and Briscoe. Potentially Truex's final race ever at Martinsville. So, I would like to see him do good. I think he'll be in the top 10, maybe top 5 at some points in this race. I think Truex will be fun to watch. So I don't know. We've seen Stewart Haas have speed in Martinsville before. Do we see it again?
Nope.
No, man. That team is they're like that old man at in the hospital that's on in a coma. And the doctor comes in, it's like, I don't think he's gonna get out of this coma. should we pull the plug? And his family standing around him like, oh no, let's
All
give
right.
him another week, you know. And then a year goes by. It's just pull the plug, man. The team is dead, dude. They're done. It's I don't believe.
It's like that one Katy Perry song, you know, Hot and Cold.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like the Eye of the Tiger. I was like, what the hell?
Oh God! I'm just kidding. Hey, I mean, this is Truex.
Lifeline. Yeah. Yeah. How could you not pick Truex? I don't know. Yeah. But that's it. That's a fantasy lineup for this week. One more thing. I completely spaced on last week's podcast. And when I saw it come up on my recommended feed, I was like, damn, how did we forget about this? We missed the MX5 Cup in Martinsville this weekend, Tom. I mean, it was a good race. I watched the first half of it. I was kind of watching it on and off while I was working. But damn, we missed it. But it was a good race. I enjoyed it. I think it was a good combo. I mean, you're not gonna have any like the bump and runs or anything like you're gonna get in stock cars, right? It's IMSA sanctioning body. But I enjoyed it. It's fun. There's Andy Jesus was in the field. I thought that was kind of cool to see. Different little battles there. Some good passing. I think the race was maybe too short. I would like to see like a 2-hour endurance event there instead. I think that'd be more entertaining. But
you know what I noticed about that race, Jay, is not actually the racing. What I noticed was after the race, all the drivers went to X, and it was like all the drivers were huddled around drinking a beer and like shooting the shit with each other. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I passed you on lap 283. What do you think about that, loser? You know? And like these guys, it was just, I mean, honestly, it's a meme race. Like, let's be honest, it's a meme race. But it was probably the most laid back, chill vibe race ever. Like, it was just so much fun to be a part of, you know, the first running of it and the jokes that came along with it and the racing that came along with it. It was just cool. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's something that the racing world needs more of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially with a lot of those guys had never driven ovals. They didn't grow up driving ovals. Like that. And then you had some oval specialists, kind of. Like, there's one guy in there, I can't remember his name, but he used to run super late models, and then he moved up the IMSA ladder, and now he's trying to go road racing. So he's like, I haven't driven I was like 15 years old. I've never driven like at an oval. Like, this is crazy. This is fun. Yeah, like, what a cool event, man. I honestly, I need to add this to my list. We gotta go next year to this event. Because it was the Whelen Modifieds and the MX5 Cup in one event. I think they need to get the Cars Tour. They need to do a 3-race like event there. I think it'd be cool as hell. Maybe
we need IMSA to go to Richmond.
Yes, that would be dope. Yeah, I think actually Richmond or Iowa would be a freaking awesome MX5 race. That would be dope.
Absolutely.
I would love it. Yeah, I think that'd be cool if they threw more ovals on their circuit. And even if they took like can you imagine if they took like not even just the MX5 Cup, but they took like the Ford Cup or the Ford Series there?
The Mustang Challenge.
The Mustang Challenge, yeah. Or even if they brought the Pilot Challenge to like maybe not Martinsville for the Pilot Challenge. It's way too many cars, but like maybe like you said, Richmond would be a great instead of doing a 2-hour race like they normally do, just do like a 1-hour race, like multi-class. That'd be cool. There'd be a lot of passing. There'd be way more passing than the Cup race.
Oh yeah.
That would be its top notch. I mean, this was an experiment, like Tom said, but I think that there's some ways we could go with this. It was cool,
man.
Yes.
It was really cool.
I loved it. So yeah, I figured might as well talk about that a little bit since we've been talking about that in hopes of that for months, and we completely spaced it on last week's podcast. That was a little bit my fault on that one as well, but glad we got to talk about it. All right, well, I think that's all I had. Just to remind you guys, watch party, triple threat watch parties next weekend. Make sure you guys turn on your notifications. We'll be doing the trucks on Friday, Xfinity on Saturday, and Cup on Sunday. We'll be live streaming all 3 of them right here on this YouTube channel. So make sure if you guys are watching the race and want to come hang out, chat with us, and maybe talk about who's going to win or whatever's happened in the race, come interact with us in the chat. It should be a fun time. I haven't talked to anybody else about joining us yet. I'll probably message Dallas here in the next day or two, maybe message Jared, Donovan, see if they want to come join us. We'll see how many people can get in here and on a rotating revolving door. Maybe some will show up for a few laps, leave, come back. Who knows? We're just going to have fun, hang out, have a good time. it's gonna be a blast next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 6th, 7th, and 8th, or is it the 7th, 8th, or it's the 7th, 8th, and 9th, or no, 8th, 9th, and 10th of November. So make sure you guys come tune in. It should be a fun time. Also, what else am I missing? Oh, me and Tom talked about it before stream. Unfortunately, it's Halloween. We will not be doing our F1 series this Thursday. I'm gonna do some other things. Especially Tom probably wants to hang out with his family and stuff for Halloween.
I know it's crazy, right? Like this internet nerd here. What? He's got a wife and kids? I know it's crazy, right? I'm surprised myself.
That's funny. But yeah, we're gonna let Tom hang out with his family, go do some things, and then we'll be back the next Thursday after that for the next event there. So sorry about that, but hopefully you guys enjoy your Halloween, have a good time, do your thing, and then I guess we'll see you guys on the next stream, which will be next Tuesday for the podcast, which will be awesome as well. We'll preview the entire next Tuesday. Can be fun because we're going to preview the entire NASCAR Championship weekend because that's the only races going on next weekend. So we'll give you a full in-depth preview of those as well, and then we'll also recap obviously the 8 hours of the Brazilian Grand Prix and everything this next Tuesday as well. So it should be a lot of fun. Also, make sure you guys go follow us on all of our socials. We got X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Streaming over there on Kick. If you guys are watching, thank you guys so much. And we also have Patreon if you guys want to support us as well over there. Also, go check out our merch store. Go buy some Digga Boys swag. It's getting cold outside, man. Holy cow, is it freezing this weekend? It's been freezing every night. Might have to go buy me one of them Digga Boys sweaters, to rep around the town while I'm working. So maybe a beanie. I don't know. I might need to get a beanie too. It's been really cold. So make sure you guys go buy some Digga Boys winter swag. Get you some Big Daddy IMSA, Big Daddy NASCAR, some Digga Boy anniversary gear. I believe we still have on there available as well. So go get you some swag. Represent the Digga Boys. It helps us out a ton. Thanks for your support with that as well. Also, go follow us on our Discord. The link is in the description below. Come join our Discord. There's so much awesome news. All the news we talked about tonight, we post on there as well. You guys can interact with it. Lots of you guys already do that as well. Interact and post your own news or comment on news that's out there. It's just a fun place to interact with other like-minded motorsports people, especially during the off-season. You're going to want somewhere to get your fix for racing. This Discord will get you your fix. There's all kinds of cool off-season stuff we're probably going to do this off-season. Me and Tom haven't really sat down and discussed what we're going to do this off-season quite yet, but I'm sure we're going to have some stuff, entertaining stuff, all throughout the off-season like we did last year. Obviously, we want to do the 12 days of motorsports again. That was a fun segment. We want to do the previews for each of the series. We'll do like a WEC IMSA preview. We'll do an IndyCar, Indy NXT preview. We'll do a full-on NASCAR preview. All the series are included. Full F1, F2 season preview as well. So we'll have all these previews during the offseason. Bold predictions like we did. We'll have to go and revisit those here in a couple weeks, Tom, as we get down to the end of the season. And then obviously all kinds of watch parties, which we've talked about. Some awesome watch parties we're going to be doing during the offseason as well, including the Chili Bowl, the Rolex 24. We'll do the F1 finale in December. So there's still lots of racing stuff to come over the next few months during the offseason. So if you guys need your racing fix, every Tuesday tune in here, and then we'll help you out there. Keep the racing alive during the offseason. Tom, is there anything else that we needed to add this Tuesday's podcast? I think pretty much covered everything I wanted to cover. 1 second. I think that you're not. I'm not picking you up for some reason. Maybe it was my headset died and I had it queued into the headset. Let me check voice and video settings. I don't know what just. Okay, it just switched. All right, check. Can
you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Test. Alrighty.
What just happened there? That was weird.
Yeah, make sure everybody goes and votes. That's about it. Friendly reminder. Yeah.
There you go.
And yeah. Clean your toilets.
Clean your
probably
toilets.
Pretty gross.
Oh man. That's awesome. I love it. Alrighty. Thank you guys again for tuning in. This has been an awesome, another fun, amazing podcast here on the Digga Boys Broadcasting Network. And hopefully you guys enjoy your Halloween. I I'm gonna be going to the Boy State game on Saturday. I'm kind of excited about that.
Hell yeah.
Pretty fun. Asher Genty, see him in person. You guys pay attention to any college football. So yeah, it'll be a fun weekend for me too. Lots of racing. I gotta do that. So and Halloween. So yeah, should be fun. Should be fun. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. We'll catch y'all in the next one.